One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Wishing report he pays his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Holy cow, man. I can't believe I'm still alive at this point. Today is day 9 of being sick, but I feel a little better today. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. We've got a quite wild lineup this morning. Real quick, I want to give a special shout out to Sterling Whale because he gifted out the first membership and the first donation of the morning. So I really want to appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Always appreciate that as well. All right, so we have a humongous lineup this morning. Trump, Iran latest, as well as SCOTUS rulings. Minnesota ICE shooting lawsuit, as well as Trump is to be, I guess, speaking in Detroit or doing something in Detroit. I'm not exactly 1,000% sure, but it's happening at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. That means 11:30 my time. That'll be right around the time that we're actually just getting offline. So at least know that it's happening. Okay, so regards to Iran, the protests that are happening over there, the last report that we gave yesterday was like 560 people, unfortunately, unalived, killed over there from their demonstrations. And now it has skyrocketed up to 3,000, and they're saying that that is a very, very light way of, or a light number right now. They're speculating anywhere from 4, 5, 6,000 people, unfortunately. So there's been a lot of shit going on, but nonetheless, the way that we have the timeline set up here for you guys is we're first going to talk. We're going to look at, I guess, yesterday there was a few clips of violent protests between ICE and demonstrators. And I'm not really sure exactly where this is. This may be in Minnesota, but wherever it is, it's snowy. So it's probably going to be Minnesota. And then Caroline Leavitt takes questions on Jerome Powell, as well as Iran protests and more. That happened yesterday, just so you guys, full transparency. And I'm sure that you guys know Mark Kelly. He sues the Pentagon and Hegseth over demotion threat. Like, he's suing the Pentagon and Hegseth over a demotion threat. Okay, well, whatever. And then we've got Minnesota sues Trump administration to halt ICE enforcement. Now, these are the public officials over there in Minnesota that are going to be speaking on that particular thing. I'm sure that they're just going to whine over the top of it. So, Trump announces 25% tariff on Iran trading nations. So, meaning any, this is what Trump came out with, is any country or nation that is doing business with Iran, well, we're just going to tariff those guys for doing business with Iran at this point. So, that's what's happening there. So, it's a 25% tariff on that. And then we got Representative Luna calls out Fed chair, quote, if you lied to Congress, ... So I'm sure that there's some shit that was said that I didn't even catch yet. So we're going to find a lot of this out together. And then we got Pete Hegseth, Elon Musk speak at Starbase. That was 13 hours ago, by the way. And that's the SpaceX location in Texas. That's where they met and blah, blah, blah. And then we got NYC nurse strike day 2. We're giving you guys the update. That was just 2 hours ago. As you guys know, we reported on yesterday, there are thousands reported to be striking over there in New York City for the nurses are striking. And today's day 2, and it says thousands continue protest, some return to work. And I'm wondering what that is and why. Are they being scabs, or are they actually going to the point where, hey, we need, for the betterment of our society, you got to be able to come back and heal these people. I'm not really sure what the case is. And then we got Trump ends temporary protective status for Somalis. Oh, shit. Yeah, feels ultra good. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and quickly get into our call to actions, and then we got to get right into this. We've got 9 stories to blast through. Please make sure you guys come in and hit that like button, as well as double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Hitting that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then we've got Saturday morning for members only, man. It's a great time. But let's get the money part over. Please consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on and be on these airwaves. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, and as well as the campaign trail, all of this shit, man. So make sure you guys follow me over there. Direct message me. I'm always, available, and I try my best to get back to everybody. And then we also have a Discord server for all of you legends. One of the moderators will drop you a link in the chat. If not, go into the link down below in any of our live videos, and it has all the links, all the invite links for the server, all that stuff. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I'll read them out loud just like a super chat. You guys can insert yourself with your voice. I've got my email up, so if anything comes through, we're ready to rock and roll. All right, you legends, man. Great to see everyone in the chat. We got Glare, as well as Jimmy Max, Sterling Wheel, and Easy Frank, my man. Good morning to you, gentlemen. We got Naomi in the building, as well as Mr. Mister. Great to see you guys. We got the like button, which is Crystal. Great to see you, Crystal. We got Quick Shoe as well. Lappy, my man, as well. Bree Rodriguez. Good morning. We got Vanguard Ratchet. We got Abe Dinkus, my man. Yes, sir. I very much appreciate you, kind sir. We got Prez in the building as well. Good morning to you. We are scrolling our way down. We got Mountain Woman. Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you guys. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday to everybody. And yes, Steve Easy, there are from different standpoints why you would think unions suck. And then for some of the people that are in those unions, sometimes it's a good thing. But most of the time, the union will actually work against you as a person anyways. Trust me, I'm somebody that came from the IBU. So I'm someone that can speak a little bit on unions. Let's see. We are scrolling down. We got Dylan Patterson. By the way, thank you. By the way, you sent $2 on the Cash App yesterday, right as I was ending the live stream. I'm super sorry that I missed that. Thank you for your $2, man. It goes a long way. Very much appreciate that. Let's see. We got Papa Penguin in the building, as well as Asylum. Good morning to you guys. Let's see. We are running our way down. All right. Well, it looks like we're pretty much all caught up. We got Pablo. Good morning to you, kind sir. Great to see you. All right, we're going to get into our first story. Clips of violent protests between ICE and demonstrators yesterday. Let me see. This says 20 hours ago, there were protests against ICE operations and other federal law enforcement actions in notably Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, and also Los Angeles, California. Wow. Protesters in Minneapolis entered hotels believed to be Housing, Immigration, and Custom Enforcement, which is ICE, agents on January 9th, footage shows, and then they go on and on. Okay, so this is Minneapolis for the most part, it looks like. Oh, man, why would they be playing that stupid song? The reason why I say that, I mean, it's funny, but for guys like me, that's like a copyright, you know what I mean? So look, YouTube, I'm not trying to steal the fucking song. I don't give a shit about the song. I just want to see what's happening here. They're popping off. Shooting at their feet. What's up, Shadow? Great to see you, by the way, and thank you for that information right there. We got Biker Babe as well. Good morning to you. We got Virgil in the morning. Good morning to you as well. Oh shit! It's going down. You know, if you guys were just at home, you guys wouldn't be getting quote-unquote harassed by ICE. You know that, right? And state troopers, police, all of that. You just stayed your ass at home. You know, you actually don't even have to stay at home. Just don't start rioting and getting all up in these fucking officers' face. I just don't understand why they think that's going to be like something that's productive. It's not. What's up, Pitbull? Good morning to you. Good afternoon. You're in the UK. What's up, Joe? I agree, Carrie. Make asylums great again. I can't stress this enough. 2026, let's make asylums great again. Yeah, you have a right to be there. J. Robin or whatever. Listen, you have a right to be there, but you don't have a right to, get violent. You don't have a right to sit there and demolish buildings or light shit on fire, spray paint shit, rob shit, loot shit. The Constitution doesn't give you the right to get in the way of federal investigations. So the Constitution doesn't say that you can do anything that I just listed. Now, you can absolutely be there and peacefully protest, which I absolutely think we should be able to do. But this shit, this is out of control. It's stupid. It doesn't get you anywhere. So this chick is getting arrested. This chick right here is getting arrested in the red. Let's go ahead and scroll ahead a little bit, see what else is happening here.
Keep your ass in the street, kid! Keep your ass in the street! Shame on you! Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you protect?
Like this looks okay right now. It doesn't look violent, just looks like they're protesting right here at this very second. This part. Oh shit, what's happening? Oh shit. Pelted. Pop, 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 pop. Shit. What's up, Charles? From Down Under. It's going down. What's up, Virginia Chaos? Good morning. Tiffany, good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Okay, are they going to show anything else here? If not, we're not going to play this whole thing, by the way, just because we've got so many things to get through and we've got only an hour to do it. I'm going to let this play for another scene or two, and then we're going to get on into Caroline Levitt takes questions on Jerome Powell, Iran protests, and more. So hold on. Shit's wild, huh, Bree? What's up, wild card? Good morning. Oh, shit. That shit sucks.
Yo, just fucking leave. You're not running. You're not running. Leave. Back up now. Tell your little bitch boy to leave. The more shit that you guys do, the longer we're gonna stay. Go away, leave us alone.
It's not gonna happen. What do you think that this guy's gonna come in and say, we're just gonna keep going? The cops are gonna be like, oh, you guys are gonna just keep doing what you're doing? Okay, we'll just leave. That's not how it ever works.
But you do not have a right to touch us. I didn't touch anyone until you decided to grab the
What's up, Rock fan?
She didn't touch you. You touched someone else first. That's assault. That is assault. Me pushing your hand away is defending my neighbor.
Whoa, what's happening in here? This looks like a hotel of some sort or something. What's up, Lady CJ? Jesus. This is annoying as shit. What are they doing? What are they trying to attempt to do? Real quick, we got Glare 1%er coming in with the $4.99. Thank you so much for the 5 spot, saying chimps chimping out on the hometown buffet. Shit. I very much appreciate that, Glare. Thank you for the 5. Very much appreciate that. No kidding, Dwayne. So, Charles says Antifa is breaking into hotels, Mike. They think ICE might be there. Yeah, I think I heard that they're using those trackers still, you know, where they're showing up at, whether it be hotels or it be a Carl's Jr. or some bullshit, you know, hey, we see that ICE is here, so we're going to come here in a mob. Yeah. So I'm going to let this scene right here play out, but I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just to see if we get any movement here. They're just like at a standstill at this weird exit, like an emergency exit or something. It is an emergency exit. This shit is whack as fuck. I'm just going to be honest. We're moving on. Caroline Levitt takes questions on Jerome Powell, Iran protests, and more. We're going to bring that up right here, right now. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
But I did want to share this with you as Press Secretary of the White House, Caroline Levitt, speaking.
Here at the White House, as you all know, we'll be traveling to Michigan tomorrow. I know the president's really looking forward to it. He's going to give a speech at the Detroit Economic Club.
Appreciate that, Only Hope. Great to see you in the chat.
In addition to touring a factory in Dearborn, Michigan that produces F-150s. And my understanding is Ford is ramping up that manufacturing and also going to be hiring more American workers at this facility thanks to President Trump's policy. So he'll be doing that tomorrow.
Shit, I missed this. My bad, Papa Penguin. Or Papa D, my bad. He's saying, morning, Mr. Balls, with the minus the S. I very much appreciate that, by the way. Good morning. It was great hanging out with you this morning on Sick Bastards, as well as Motobomb, the whole community, man. I very much appreciate the coffee crew, you know what I mean? And thank you guys, Motobomb, for the raid this morning as well, brother. I really appreciate that.
And talking about all of the great economic news, which I would be remiss if I did not point out to you all, we have mortgage rates falling below 6% for the first time in years. Thank you,
Steve
NBC,
Boese.
for this very fair and honest headline. But this is the truth, and these are the facts thanks to President Trump's economic policies. So frankly, they're hard to deny. And then again, we have the Washington Examiner out this morning with gas prices. The national average has fallen to $2.79 per gallon for the first time in nearly 5 years. So these were two of the biggest pain points for the American people, as you all know, under the previous administration. Gas prices, mortgage rates, interest rates, all things that this administration is committed to seeing fall. In addition to prices, we know core inflation is at its lowest point as it has been in 5 years. And so these
Shit, Papa, I got you.
economic policies are really coming into fruition now that we're in 2026, and we'll be seeing more tax cuts into the pockets of the American people later this spring as well. So it's all good news on the economic front, and I know the president looks forward to talking about that tomorrow in Michigan. I'll take some of your questions today.
Thank you so much, Caroline. On Jerome Powell, President Trump has mentioned on multiple occasions that the
Okay, this is the question on Jerome Powell.
administration could probably bring a lawsuit against him. Did the president ever direct DOJ officials to open an investigation into Powell?
No.
And can you reassure the American public that his longstanding criticisms and public comments about Powell had nothing to do with the investigation?
Well, look, the president has every right to criticize the Fed chair. He has a First Amendment right, just like all of you do. And one thing for sure, the president's made it quite clear, is Jerome Powell is bad at his job. As for whether or not Jerome Powell is a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find out, and it looks like they intend to find that out.
Two more questions on the Fed for you. Senator Tillis is promising to hold up all Fed nominees until this legal matter with Jerome Powell is resolved. What does the president make of that?
I haven't spoken to the president about Senator Tillis' comments. I'll leave that to our legislative affairs shop to figure out, and I'll let the president speak on that himself. Go ahead.
Wow, 600 million over budget. I didn't know that was the number, Mr. Interesting.
That the Fed should operate independently from him.
The president has made it quite clear he thinks Jerome Powell is bad at his job, and the president has made it quite clear, as have many economists, by the way, that interest rates should be lowered, and they should have been lowered a long time ago.
But does he believe in the independence of the Fed, Caroline?
He has, and he said that many times.
What's up, Bill Castle over there on in the state of Washington, my man?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. Jay Powell should go to jail.
Does the president...
Eamon, you're yelling out a question that's being asked in a different way, but it's the same exact question as we just answered, and I just answered it. We'll let the Department of Justice determine that.
Damn, Caroline Levitt is such a fucking legend sometimes. She knows how to handle the press and these people, these journalists, all, you know. She's really good at handling them.
President Trump
strikes off the table in Iran, and does he believe there's a potential path to end the protest there without military action?
Well, I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table, and airstrikes would be one of the many, many options that are on the table for the commander-in-chief. Diplomacy is always the first option for the president. He's told all of you last night that what you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from
What's up, KH? Good morning.
the messages the administration is receiving privately, and I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages. However, with that said, the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary, and nobody knows that better than Iran.
President
Go ahead.
Steve Witkoff talking to the Iranians at the moment.
I understand that Steve Witkoff will continue to be a very important player in diplomacy with respect to Iran. I think the last week has shown that the president made the right, realistic assessment of what needed to take place in Venezuela at this moment in time. And the interim authorities and Delcy Rodriguez and her team have been very cooperative with the United States and the president and his team, as evidenced by the massive energy deal that the president was able to cut with the interim authorities, their commitment to release Venezuelan political prisoners, which we also saw last week. So we've seen a great level of cooperation, and the president expects that to continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
And how soon does he want to see elections in Venezuela?
I think right now it's still too soon to say, and I don't want to set a deadline for the president on that.
What's the meeting this morning with Marco Rubio about Venezuela, and what can we see this week on Venezuela? More meetings?
The president meets with the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor daily, sometimes multiple times a day, and so it was on a range of topics, as it always is.
You be good out there, brother Frank. We'll see you on the flip side.
On Venezuela, what practical steps would the White House like to see those interim authorities take to stop Iran and Hezbollah from operating in the country, and have those authorities done anything on that yet?
I think right now the main correspondence with the interim authorities is really focused on obviously ensuring stability and prosperity and continued cooperation with respect to energy. As you all know, there was a very powerful and big group of oil executives who were here at the White House on Friday, and so continuing to iron out some of these energy deals. We also have made it very clear, the president's made it very clear, that we don't want to see any more jug boats sailing from Venezuela towards the United States of America, which we have not, frankly, in the last week. President's also made it very clear that only oil tankers that are approved by the United States of America will be flowing from Venezuela, and we will continue to seize ships that are stateless or that are not approved for commerce by the United States.
Back to Iran, is the objective in these discussions with Iran still complete denuclearization, or what else is the president looking for as he, engages in these discussions?
Well, he's made it quite clear he certainly doesn't want to see people being killed in the streets of Tehran, and unfortunately that's something we're seeing right now. Kelly. I'll get to you, don't worry. Kelly.
Has President Trump spoken with Elon Musk about the internet situation there as well?
I understand he has spoken to Elon about that. Yes, he talked to all of you about that on the plane last night. What was your first question, Kelly?
Has spoken with Iranian officials today. Could you give any updates on those conversations?
I haven't spoken with Mr. Witkoff today about that, but we can certainly get you an answer.
Archbishop Coakley is here. President Trump is meeting with Archbishop Coakley.
Of great interest to you, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and they may be speaking as we're speaking. Can you give us a preview of what they'll be talking about, or will there be a readout as well after they're done of what they discuss?
I can see if the president will provide you a readout. How's that?
Yep, sounds good. And also, President Trump, has he seen the video put out by Jerome Powell on Sunday? And if so, what's his reaction?
That video was put out after I was with the president when Air Force One landed last night, I believe. So I was no longer with him when that video came out. I don't know if he's seen it or not.
Does the president have a dateline or a timeline on Greenland?
No, he has not set a timeline, but it's definitely a priority for him. She's asking about Greenland, and I think the president was very clear last night. He said that he wants to see the United States acquire Greenland because he feels that if we do not, then it will eventually be acquired or even perhaps hostilely taken over by either China or Russia, which is not.
Right, which is what Trump has been saying. We're not going to allow China or Russia to beat us to the punch, and we'll take it over by force if needed. Essentially.
A good thing for the United States or for Europe or for Greenland as well. Let's not forget, it would not just be in the best interest of the United States, but perhaps it would be in the best interest of Greenland as well to be part of the United States and protected by the United States. I can't even finish my answer. Everybody's screaming. Go ahead, Monica.
What's up, TJ? Assad, dude. Assad, dude.
The president meeting last night when he said that Iran had called to negotiate and that there may be a meeting that is set up.
That's right, Dylan.
I mean, what else do you want me to explain by that? There was an official from the Iranian government, I believe it was reported earlier, that reached out to a member of the president's very close team, Special Envoy Witkoff, expressing a far different tone than what you're seeing publicly.
About the meeting on Thursday with Maria Corina Machado?
That's been front and center in response to this ICE video. Is the president satisfied with her efforts there and all of her media interviews?
Yes, 100%. President Trump and I actually spoke about this last night, and how Secretary Noem is doing a phenomenal job, not just securing the border, which she and the president did together in record time, but also in defense of the brave men and women of ICE who put on a law enforcement uniform every single day to protect our communities and to protect all of you and every American, regardless if they are Democrat or Republican. ICE is doing a very important job to remove illegal alien criminals from our communities. And I think it's very striking that all weekend long, you had agitators and violent American citizens out in the streets of Minneapolis protesting. Protesting what exactly? Apparently, they are protesting the removal of heinous murderers and rapists and criminals from a city that I can guarantee you, when you look at the...
Well, now it's a whole movement of anti-ICE, which it was already like that in the in the environment. We got KP in the building. Shout out to my man. He's saying good day all. Great to see you.
List of the illegal criminals that ICE is removing from our communities every day. Not a single person in those protests and not a single person standing here that works in the mainstream media in Washington, D.C. would want those individuals in your neighborhood, in your community, around your children, and around your families. ICE is doing an incredibly important job that's not just important to our homeland security, but our national security. And this administration will continue to stand wholeheartedly by the brave men and women of ICE, including that officer in Minneapolis who was absolutely justified in using self-defense against it.
What are you guys talking about? You guys called Trump all these type of the same nomenclature.
A lunatic who was part of a group, an organized group, to interject and to impede on law enforcement operations. And it's disgusting what we have seen from the left. And I think that it just shows you where the modern day Democrat Party stands today in protecting illegal alien pedophiles and rapists and murderers over law-abiding American citizens and our brave men and women who serve in law enforcement.
Oh, she just walked away.
That was White House Press Secretary Caroline.
She didn't even say, okay, bye. She just was like, fuck, I'm gone. Irish goodbye. All right, we're going to move on. So Mark Kelly sues Pentagon and Hegseth over demotion threat. This came out yesterday, so let's go ahead and bring this up. We'll discuss it quickly. We don't need to, be be stuck on this for a long time. Oh, it's actually not even a minute-long update.
I do want to go.
Wow.
Some breaking news being reported by the Associated Press talking about Democratic Senator Mark Kelly is suing the Pentagon, saying that it tried to punish him for warning troops about illegal orders. If you remember this back and forth that has been going on between Senator...
Yeah, show me the proof. Waiting for the proof. Baseless accusations.
Mark Kelly and Secretary Pete Hegseth talking about the threats that Secretary Hegseth has been really waging against Senator Kelly, and now that lawsuit is being made official there. And we are also being told that Secretary Hegseth was really threatening for demotion of Senator Kelly and other moves that could be possibly made from the Department of Defense level. So we'll be definitely keeping an eye on all of that for you right here on Live Down from Fox.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next. We've got Minnesota sues Trump administration to halt ICE enforcement. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and bring this up. 3, 2, 1. First, before we get into these Minneapolis officials that they're going to speak on, that they're actually suing the Trump administration to halt law enforcement. Now, this came out yesterday, I believe. Let me double check this. Yes, it did come out yesterday. We're just about to get into today's stories here, I believe, here in the next 2 stories or so. Before we get into it, though, we got to fucking embrace our fuck ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Shit.
Denied.
All right, let's get into this.
And I'm so honored to be...
Now, we're not going to play this whole press release because this is 32 minutes, and I'm sure it's going to be like 20 minutes of them answering questions at the end. But I do want to try to get the basis of what is going to be said here.
Join and in partnership with the city of Minneapolis under the leadership of my friend Jacob Fry, and the city of St. Paul under the leadership of Mayor Herr, who is also a dear friend of many years. We've come together, and we're here to...
I want to know who this man is speaking right here. I want to know who he is.
Announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, is that the lawyer? I don't know.
To end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the...
Attorney General or something, I don't know.
Law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop. It just has to stop.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. We've got 317 people in here total. Make sure you guys hit that like button, man. You guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen on the vertical side. Very much appreciate you guys.
Alleged that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, for our democracy, and our differences of opinion with the federal government is a violation of the Constitution and of federal law. We allege that the surge, reckless impact on our schools, on our local law enforcement is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the sovereign laws and powers of the Constitution grants to states. We allege that DHS's use of excessive and lethal force, their warrantless, racist arrests, their targeting of our courts, our churches, houses of worship, and schools
sounds like me because I'm all sick as shit.
Are a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act on arbitrary and capricious federal actions. And we ask that the courts will end the surge of thousands of DHS agents into Minnesota.
I got you, Papa D. I got you.
Stop the cap. Minnesota. We ask the courts to end the DHS unlawful behavior in our state, the intimidation, the threats, the violence. We ask the courts to end the tactics on our places of worship, our schools, our courts, our marketplaces, our hospitals, and even funeral homes. The deployment of thousands of armed mass DHS agents to Minnesota has done our state serious harm. This is, in essence, a federal invasion of the Twin Cities and Minnesota, and it must stop. DHS agents have sown chaos and terror across the metropolitan...
I got you, Jiggy, too.
Why are you gay? ...area and in cities across the state of Minnesota. Schools have gone onto lockdown. Entire districts have had to cancel school for tens of thousands of students to ensure safety and offer online education because of the students and the parents' fear of coming into the school. Local businesses are struggling. Revenues are down. And some retail stores, daycares, and restaurants have actually closed because people are afraid to go out and to do their shopping, whether they're immigrants or whether they are citizens of many generations. This surge has made us less safe. Thousands of poorly trained, aggressive, and armed agents of the state, of the federal government, have rolled into our communities, overwhelmed our local police departments, and law enforcement agencies should be focused on our public safety, but instead, many are dealing with the aftermath of DHS agents' chaos and violence. I want to thank our law enforcement officers for doing a tremendous job under very difficult circumstances. Not the people,
oh my God, this guy.
People, but the federal government. Minneapolis police have had to respond to more than 20 ICE-related incidents, like witnesses seeking people being pulled into unmarked vehicles by men in mass, or ICE abandoning vehicles on the street with people detained inside. This is an unlawful...
Yeah, she's throwing up her hood hard over there, dude.
...commandeering of police resources. In just 2 days, responding to the chaos ICE has cost the city $2 billion in law enforcement and overtime expenses. 2 days. And I wish I could stop there, but I can't. Because these poorly trained, aggressive, and armed agents of the federal state have terrorized Minnesota with widespread unlawful conduct. They're making unconstitutional arrests and using excessive force. DHS agents have barged into restaurants asking to access secure areas. And when asked to present a warrant, which is required by law, they respond, "We don't need one." DHS agents have arrested peaceful bystanders. They have fired chemical irritants at people obeying lawful orders while exercising their First Amendment rights. They have even done so at some of our most sensitive places, like Roosevelt High School here in Minneapolis. They have detained law-abiding citizens, leaving them handcuffed for hours.
What's up, Charlotte? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And we've got 464 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap the screen. I very much appreciate your laborious work out there, everybody. Thank you for that.
Just because of the color of their skin, or what they're wearing, or they speak English with an accent. And on January 7th, 2026, a DHS agent shot and killed Renee Nicole Good, leaving her children without a mother and her 6-year-old son without either parent.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Charlotte. That's awesome.
This has to stop.
Big 23.
So let's be clear. It never should have started. These agents have no good reason to be here. Minnesota's non-citizen immigrant population is just 1.5%. Which is half the national average. Our state's percentage is lower than Utah, Texas, and Florida's, but none of those states have thousands of federal agents swarming their streets or harming their people.
Thank you, Only Hope.
The administration says that they're focused on finding criminals. Worst of the worst, they say. But many of the people the DHS is arresting in Minnesota have no criminal history. That fits a pattern. In 2025, 93% of the people arrested by ICE had no violent criminal history. 65% had no criminal convictions at all.
Okay, so this guy's just kind of going on and on and on and on. We're going to go ahead and get the mayor up here because this guy is just going for a minute. And we've got so much to still get through.
Mayor Jacob Fry.
Thank you, Attorney General Ellison, for your leadership and your incredible team's work around this issue. Thank you to Mayor Herr of St. Paul for your partnership. These are not normal times. And so the response that we are asking for from the judicial system and from the courts requires that we file suit at this particular moment. What we are seeing right now is not normal immigration enforcement. We are not asking ICE not to do ICE things. We are asking this federal government to stop the unconstitutional conduct that is invading our streets each and every day. You've seen the videos. At times, there are as many as 50 agents arresting one person. The scale is wildly disproportionate and has nothing to do with keeping people safe. In Minneapolis, we've done work extensively with the federal government under multiple administrations to keep people in our city safe. We have worked with the DEA, the ATF, the FBI, the Attorney General's office, as well as the U.S. Attorney's office, to successfully drive down crime in our city. We've seen the results of that.
What's up, Nomadic? Welcome back. Great to see you in the chat.
But let's be clear. The stated reason of this federal government for bringing in this full invasion of ICE and border control is not safety. If it were safety, there would be other mechanisms to achieve safety. By the way, crime is down in virtually every category, in virtually every neighborhood of this city. If this were about fraud, then you'd see an invasion perhaps of accountants. But that's not what you see. What you see is people being indiscriminately taken off our streets. Discrimination only takes place to the extent that a determination has made that somebody is Somali or is Latino, or at least they look that way, and then there is virtually no discrimination thereafter. Here's the thing. You can't indiscriminately take people off our streets, American citizens off our streets. You cannot drag pregnant women through the snow. You're not allowed to take teenagers out of their car and detain them when they are, in fact, American citizens. That is against the law in every state. That is against our United States Constitution. And we're feeling the impact here in Minneapolis. Schools have closed. People are afraid to go to work, shop, or seek medical care. 911 calls are up. Police resources are indeed stretched thin. We have approximately 600 officers in the city of Minneapolis.
You know, this is a great way to go ahead and break this up. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get the money part over.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Perfect. Back to this.
Mayor Herr has approximately 600 officers in the city of St. Paul. The number of ICE agents and border control are now in the thousands. They are in the thousands. If the goal was immigration enforcement, if the goal were simply to look for people that are undocumented, Minneapolis and St. Paul would not be the place where you would go. There are countless more people that are undocumented in Florida and Texas and Utah. Why are they in these much smaller cities in the middle of the Midwest? The answer is very clear. It is politics. Florida and Texas and Utah are Republican states. The reason that Minnesota and Minneapolis are being targeted is because you've got a Democratic governor, a Democratic attorney general, and you got Democratic mayors. We are doing everything possible to keep our cities safe through this unprecedented time, and at the same time...
Yeah, you guys are sucking. Obviously.
We have police officers that are tired. We've seen damage substantially because we're now having to pay a ton of overtime. Millions of dollars of emergency overtime for law enforcement. Emergency operations have been activated across our city and state agencies, pulling focus on daily core services that we, by the way, are tasked with providing. Local police officers are being diverted from the very work that we need to be doing, and small businesses are losing significant revenue, with some worried that they may not survive this at all. People are scared to take their kids into school or daycare, to go into work. They're going to have difficulty paying rent. There is no doubt in my mind the kind of action that the federal government is taking is not just mean-spirited. It's unconstitutional, and every one of us need to be standing up. Let me give you another example. Just last week, a group of our city's public works employees were stopped by ICE agents. 3 of the 4 employees were not white. The ICE agents asked to see the IDs of the 3 non-white employees and didn't even bother to ask the white employee for the identification. Minneapolis is being targeted because we stand up for our neighbors and we welcome immigrants because we believe in the law. And as I said, frankly, because we are in a blue city in a blue state. Donald Trump should know. As long as federal agents are in our city acting unconstitutionally against our neighbors, we will continue to push back with everything we got. And let me just take a moment to say how grateful I am to the residents of our city and of our state. We are not victims in the city of Minneapolis. We've got heroes that are standing up for each other, that are standing by the neighbors that they love. And one thing that I can tell you for certain is that we aren't backing down. We don't retreat in Minneapolis. We don't back down in Minnesota. We stand up against bullies, and right now, what we are asking for is an intervention from the court to push back on this unconstitutional conduct, pure and simple. I'll now turn it off to Mayor Herr.
Yeah, Papa D, this shit would never be happening here where I live. I mean, just saying. Okay, so we heard what we needed to hear here. We don't need to go on with every person on here as a politician, so every person up here has to speak and get their turn in front of the camera. We get the consensus of that. We just watched the majority of it. So Trump announces 25% tariff on Iran trading nations. So any nation, country, whatever, that is doing business with Iran is going to have a heavy burden of a 25% tariff just with doing business with them. So this came out yesterday. Let's go ahead and bring it up before we get into today's cycle this morning already.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. We're continuing to follow the situation in Iran as hundreds of people, according to activists, have been killed in protest there. And now President Trump putting this out on social media.
Oy
This
vey.
is from the White
That's
House
right.
saying effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive from President Donald Trump. So President Trump announcing that 25% tariff on any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran. And of course, we know those protests within Iran continue, as well as here in the U.S., calling for regime change and an end to the Islamic Republic. We want to show you a little bit of video from some of those protests in Iran right now. The White House is also weighing its options as this unrest in Iran is reaching a boiling point. Those human rights groups saying...
Now, just so you know, the latest reported numbers are anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 people that have died since this whole ordeal. Now, yesterday's numbers were 500, 540, 560. Those were the numbers we were seeing yesterday. Today, we're seeing a bare minimum of 3,000, and that's a very conservative number they're already saying. So, terrible. It's just terrible.
Hundreds of anti-regime protesters have already been killed, thousands jailed. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest.
Chaos in cities across Iran. What began as protests over its weakened economy has brought a harsh and deadly crackdown by the regime. Human rights groups estimate hundreds of people have been killed and thousands more have been imprisoned. The government has shut down phone lines and internet. President Trump says the U.S. is prepared to act.
The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options.
The president and his team have reportedly been weighing options ranging from cyber attacks to direct military strikes. Iran has threatened retaliation. But despite the war of words, both sides appear willing to talk.
Iran called to negotiate.
The greatest leverage the regime had just several months ago was their nuclear program, which President Trump and the United States military...
No, I don't know what necessarily that is.
...totally obliterated through Operation Midnight Hammer.
Democrats have denounced the Iranian regime's actions, but want the president to come to Congress before any potential military action.
They are fighting for their own freedom and for a new type of country. So we should be very thoughtful about how or why or when we get involved. And President Trump should not be using our troops or having boots on the ground without the prior authorization of Congress.
President Trump is reportedly meeting with his national security team Tuesday to go over options. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Fox News. I hate when they do that fucking bit. Fox News. Stupid. Stupid.
President Trump imposing a 25% tariff for companies doing business with Iran and the United States. We also have something new from the U.S. Embassy in Iran. They're urging any U.S. citizens within the country to leave. This is what they say. Leave Iran now. Have plan for departing Iran that does not rely on U.S. government help. They say if you cannot leave, find a secure location within your residence or another safe building. Have a supply of food, water, medication, and other essential items. They also warn U.S. citizens within Iran to avoid those demonstrations.
Absolutely, Steve Posey. You be safe out there.
And to monitor local media for breaking news. However, we know that there is a internet and phone line blackout that has been going on there for several days, so it may be hard for them to receive these communications. The U.S. Embassy in Iran also warning about...
We got Mr. J.R. Bowling, Alabama's next state senator for District 4. Yes, sir. Great to see you in the chat. Very nice.
Possible
good morning. Good morning.
Border closures, although most of those borders still remain open. That could change, though, as this situation escalates. We've also seen many protests here in the U.S. calling for regime change in Iran. One yesterday in L.A. involving a big group of demonstrators and a U-Haul truck driving into that group.
Right, and that U-Haul driver got arrested on the scene. I mean, they actually kind of beat the shit out of him, too, which was well-deserved. I mean, it was totally well-deserved, but nonetheless, there have been some demonstrations, one in particular over there in Los Angeles that was... basically, you know, for the freedom of the Iranian people. Anyways, we're going to move on. Representative Luna calls out Fed chair, quote, if you lie to Congress, and then that's end quote. So I don't really know what the complete quote is, but it's very quick, and we're not going to linger on it because we still got to get to Pete Hegseth, Elon Musk speak at Starbase. Then we've got the New York City nurses that are on strike. We've got thousands of nurses that are on strike right now in New York City. Then Trump ends temporary protective status for Somalis. That's all within the last 2 hours. So stick around. We're going to be getting to the rest of all of this.
Champion the conversation.
You mind coming a step down?
Yeah, sure.
Congresswoman,
You had a criminal referral for Jerome Powell
I did.
early on. Can you tell us your reaction, your thoughts on there now being a DOJ investigation?
Yeah, so we wrote that criminal referral last year, much to fight kind of the fake news narrative that you're hearing that this is recent. We did that again last year, and so I'm happy that they're following up on that. I think that Congress specifically has one set of rules, and it applies to the American people, but you cannot perjure yourself to Congress, and if you do, you should face investigation. I think that he's facing that now.
Jerome Powell says this is politically motivated to try to pressure him to lower interest rates. What's your response to that?
I referred him for a line to Senate, my colleagues in the Senate last year, so I don't have a magic ball. If I did, I'm sure it'd be worth more money.
From what you referred him to, he said that the plans for the construction had changed.
By the way, we've got 504 people in here right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Double tap the screen on the vertical side. You guys don't have to like the craziness that's happening, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here.
That what you were alleging was false.
I don't believe that.
Outlaw Preacher, good morning.
This investigation can infringe on the independence of the Federal Reserve?
No, I think that if you lie to Congress, if you're in charge of the Federal Reserve, you should at least have the specifics for
Why are
construction
you
plans,
gay?
et cetera, that you're launching. By the way, the amount that cost was like more expensive, I think, than the Taj Mahal. I mean, it was crazy expensive. I think that that would be an argument because he is facing pressure from the administration on a separate related issue. But again, my referral came independently from the administration based on his own perjury. So that would be, Jerome, don't lie to Congress and that stuff won't happen to you.
A different topic, Bill Clinton has this scheduled deposition tomorrow for the
He has not been responsive, and we have publicly asked for support from our Democrat colleagues to get him in to testify.
Do you feel like you're not getting that support from Democrats?
Well, they said that they would help and assist, so let's hope that they follow up on that. Obviously, that's very important testimony.
What questions would you have for him?
Well, I would have to probably go for number one, and can you provide names about those implicated in Jeffrey Epstein's client book?
Back to stock trading for a second. Are there any amendments you're hoping to see come up when it gets marked up on Wednesday?
So they have closed that process.
As well, we got Miss Lotus. Great to see you in the chat. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
To members, it's only for the members of the committee, so it's not an open process.
TVT,
I think the
my
bill
man,
as
good morning.
is pretty strong, and I think it'll pass through at least Republican support majority. I think you'll get some Democrats supporting it as well. I do think that we're going to have some issues in the Senate unless the president publicly backs it, which I think he will. But again, you're not supposed to be publicly getting wealthy off of this position using insider information. This will prohibit that individual trade of stock, which we have seen on both sides has been abused for far too long. And I do think that it'll eventually be a representative body that's not engaged in the stock trade, because you'll have people that are coming in that can't do it, so it'll eventually phase it out.
Right, but any amendments you're hoping that the Republicans on the House Admin Committee will bring up for the bill?
I would, again, I think the bill as stands, I'm comfortable as in the current form. I think anything else, you might run the risk of it not passing through the Republican majority, which is what we're going to need to actually get it done.
Ron Powell, he came out and made that very rare public
Okay, here's the thing about Powell.
statement refuting this investigation. Does that make you...
He said it, I think it was in the last 24 hours, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my referral came last year based on his comments that he made to Senate that we felt were perjuring.
But doesn't this investigation come out of your referral?
So it does, but it's also, and I haven't spoken directly to the DOJ about when they opened it, but I do believe that this has been going on for some time now. So I think that he's probably the one making it political.
So how is he making it political?
Well, if he's choosing to talk about it now based on when it initially happened.
He's talking about it because news if it came out in the press.
Well, you would be contacted by the DOJ prior. So he's...
Somewhat. I mean, he's just watching it go down, and he's he did say that he's gonna he's canceled the correspondence with Iran officials until they stop killing protesters, and he's sending help, quote unquote. That's literally what he said.
Yeah, so he's choosing to be selective about it. I mean, I think he probably knew the internal conversations. I'm not at the DOJ, but what I will tell you is we made the referral last year. He chose to, again, try to ignore it, not make any comments of it. Now he's commenting saying that it's political targeting. He could have said that last year. He didn't. I think that he's trying to use this as a reason of, maybe getting off for perjuring himself. But you can't perjure to Congress. Sorry, it doesn't happen. Any of the American people could do it.
There's not a chance that this investigation in of itself is also political?
Are you implying that I'm somehow working at behest of the White House to get him in trouble by...
Yeah, the minimum numbers right now, TVT, is 3,000, and it could be up to anywhere up to 6,000 people have now died. Remember yesterday we were just reporting about 560 or some odd? Yeah, now it's minimum 3,000. All right, we're going to move on though. We have this, I don't know if this is a press or a sit-down meeting or whatever this is, but with Pete Hegseth as well as Elon Musk speak at Starbase over there in Texas. That's SpaceX's location in Texas. I'm not going to listen to very much of it, to be quite honest, and I'm actually more apt to skip it than anything because we've got so much shit to go through, and we're already at 54 fucking minutes. Rough. But I'm going to show a little bit of it, and we'll discuss it for just a second, and then we're going to get right into the NYC nurses that are on strike. We've got thousands of nurses on strike right now. All right, here we go.
All right, we are seeing Elon Musk stepping up to the podium at an event in Texas. He's going to be joined with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. This is live.
This is a city. It's actually legally a city that, thanks to the hard work of the SpaceX team, we built out of nothing. And is now a gigantic rocket manufacturing system. So, and for people out there who are curious to see it, we're actually on a public highway, so you can come and visit and drive down the road and see the epic hardware. So I think this is the first time that a rocket development program has actually been on a public highway. So you can kind of see the epic stuff.
Yo, real quick, Papa D coming in saying, hello, Lucy, just had to. Yes, sir. Lucy very much appreciates that, by the way. I can speak for her as her human.
We're honored today to have the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and much of the senior leadership of the Pentagon here. It's an honor to have them visit. We just did a tour of the factory, and I think it really helps illustrate how manufacturing and manufacturing at scale is critical to the strength of America. So, and I'll tell you a little bit just about.
Oh my God, Elon, please.
To other star systems where we may meet aliens or.
Fucking Elon. He's such a geek with this shit. I mean, I love him for it. You know, he's really enthusiastic about space for real, which somebody gotta, but I don't really want to sit here and listen to this whole thing. We're going to listen to Pete Hegseth real quick, and then we'll get right on to it.
Appreciate it. I love it. Well, what a tour. What an opportunity to be here at Starbase, Texas, with Elon and the SpaceX team. There's nothing like this in America. There's nothing like this in the world. And what you have built and what you will build here is a testament to the strength of American ingenuity and American invention. So I want to thank all of you, all the folks out here for having us today. Elon, thank you so much for hosting us, for what you built, for the vision you have for this company, the vision you have for our country, the vision you have for American innovation. I could not think of a more fitting venue to continue our Arsenal of Freedom tour and to outline today the future of technological innovation at the War Department.
I mean, just so this is kind of clear here. Elon Musk is a super geek when it comes to space travel, all that kind of stuff. And he loves it for that, you know. He's willing to give up his whole life to just be able to fucking do the whole Mars thing. But nonetheless, the Trump administration, yes, does like space, but they like it for a different aspect of defense, right? That's what they are truly interested in.
You here at SpaceX will appreciate this, knowing that as World War II was ending, the Secretary of War and Secretary of the Navy wrote to the National Academy of Sciences and declared that scientific research was essential to our national security. To ensure continued preparedness, they wrote, the research scientists of the United States must be called upon to continue in peacetime some substantial portion, that of which they have made so effectively during the stress of the present war.
Yeah, Charlotte, you got to think. So Lucy is my cat's name. And obviously I named her Lucy. She's an orange cat. And my last name is Ball. So Lucille Ball was a redhead. You know what I mean? And so it's a little play on words. Yep.
The competitive time element in developing those weapons and tactics may be decisive in future conflicts.
Lone Wolf, good morning.
You see, those secretaries of war and Navy many decades ago recognized the importance that innovation and readiness holds for our national security. They knew what was at stake, the very freedoms of the country we hold dear. All across the United States today, extraordinary innovation is unlocking new possibilities for freedom, prosperity, and security. Now, the question before us is not whether or not the most powerful technologies of the century will reinforce free societies. Is it going to reinforce our free societies, or will that technology be shaped and twisted by malign regimes that seek to use?
So he's definitely just going to be doing some speculation here. I really don't. I don't need to do any of that right now. We have two more incredible wild stories that we need to get to. We're already at 58 minutes, everybody. I'm forced. All right. NYC nurses strike day 2. Thousands continue to protest, and some do actually return back to work. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here.
We're taking a look at downtown Manhattan over in New York City as we are following along a story that we brought to you just yesterday. Happening today, city nurses continuing and will be back on the picket line for day 2 of their strike. However, there are some nurses who have already returned to work despite no deal being reached. Joining us now for a bit more context as to what we can expect is Jessica Formosa with our team at Fox 5 in New York. Jessica, you joined us yesterday where a lot of nurses were out there, a lot of cars honking as well.
Good morning. The scene a little different this morning. Yesterday by 6 o'clock, hundreds of nurses were out here on the picket line. But as you can take a look here, this is a live look at the scene. It was around a little after 6:30 when we saw a handful of nurses here. And at this hour, that crowd has grown. Not like it was yesterday, but we see that nurses continue to show up for day 2 of this strike. This is the largest nurses strike in city history. We're talking about nearly 15,000 nurses who walked off the job yesterday and onto the picket line. As I said, yesterday there was a much bigger crowd, but we are expecting these nurses to continue to show up as the morning progresses. Now, although no deal has been reached, a spokesperson from Mount Sinai telling us some nurses have crossed over the picket line, saying 20% of their nurses went back to work yesterday, and they expect more to do the same today and in the coming days. That said, as of now, all hospitals involved remain open. Their emergency rooms are also open as traveling nurses are helping fill the gaps. The 3 hospital systems affected by the strike are Mount Sinai, Montefiore, and New York Presbyterian. Mount Sinai says it has brought in 1,400 qualified and specialized nurses. Nurses at Mount Sinai tell us that the transition was a smooth one, that the traveling nurses were in place and ready to take over once the strike went into effect at 6 o'clock yesterday morning. The state has stepped in as well. The Department of Health has staff on site as all affected hospitals, making sure that patient safety is first and care continues. Now, the city's emergency management is working with hospitals to move patients if services are disrupted. Okay, so what led to this strike? Well, the nurses union says they aren't getting a fair contract. The nurses are demanding better pay, safe staffing levels, fully funded health benefits, and improved workplace protections. Hospital management says their demands are extreme. People, of course, concerned for the patients who are now stuck in the middle of these negotiations. We actually spoke to one of those patients as he was leaving New York Presbyterian yesterday. Take a listen.
We got help then with no problem at all.
So were you surprised?
Paul, that's wild, man. That's a wild ordeal to go through. I can only imagine.
I mean, were you worried coming in?
No, not really. No, it went pretty good. You know, I give a lot of solidarity to the nurses.
We all got to be worried. Yeah, this is not polite. This is not right for them.
You want to see the nurses back to work?
Back to work.
Last night the mood was very somber.
On December 29th or 30th or 31st, I can't remember the exact day, but sometime at the end of December, their contract ended, and they've been trying to work a new contract to re-up their contract. And they're asking for wage increases, more cover for the nurses, because there's always a lack of nurses, and security and protections from their patients, because I guess that they have a handful of problems with that, and I guess the hospitals haven't backed them, and they've gotten fired or whatever the case is. So anyways, they're trying to change a few things, and unfortunately, they haven't met an agreement yet.
Many of my patients are afraid.
So this is day 2.
To take care of us when you leave.
What's up, Tony?
And I tried to explain to them that the hospital has provided support.
These people that you see here are not here for money. These people are here because we're compromising patient care on a very fundamental level. We're not given the resources that we need, the number of nurses to take care of the number of patients that we need, which is called the staffing ratio.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Mount Sinai said in part, our patients are our top priority. We are well prepared to continue to deliver excellent care to our communities for however long a strike may last. All of our hospitals and emergency departments will remain open. Montefiore Medical saying all patients' appointments remain scheduled unless you hear directly from your provider. And New York Presbyterian saying we have taken the necessary steps so our patients continue to receive the care they trust us to provide. And as you take another live look here, coming back live, you see the nurses out here on the picket line. They tell us they will remain here as long as they have to. The last strike was 3 years ago, and that lasted 3 days. How long will this one last? Well, that is unclear. We're hoping to get an update from either hospital management or the nurses union at some point later this morning. I send things back to you.
All right, Jessica, I'm not sure if you can hear me because the honking is in full force this morning, but we appreciate your time here.
Yeah, she can't even barely hear. She's like, oh, geez, I know. All right, so real quick, we're going to end our morning here with Trump ends temporary protective status for Somalis. That's a W for America right there. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We'll go ahead and discuss it.
We have some breaking news to share with you on this Tuesday, as Fox News is reporting that the Trump administration has ended the temporary protection status for Somalis in the United States. We're taking a look here at a social media post courtesy of Fox News and Fox News Digital saying this: the Trump administration is ending temporary protection status for Somalia, affecting several thousand Somalis currently living in the U.S. and several hundred currently living in Minnesota under the protection. Somali migrants with TPS will be required to leave the country by March 17th. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News Digital in a statement, quote, temporary means temporary. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status. That statement went on to say, quote, further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is currently and contrary to our national interests. We are putting Americans first. Bringing us out to a live image that we have of the White House over in Washington, D.C. as I continue to cite.
And real quick, I'm also going to figure out who we're going to raid right now, so stick around. This is a very quick ending to the show right here.
Some more of this
only 2 more
courtesy
minutes
of Fox News Digital. Sources tell Fox News Digital that there are 2,471 Somali nationals currently in the U.S. under TPS, with just over 1,300 in the country with pending TPS applications. The move comes as DHS continues ICE operations in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after a widespread, roughly $9 billion fraud scheme involving members of the Somali community plagued the state. Fox News Digital learned that an estimated 600 Somali nationals who are protected by TPS live in Minnesota. Now, Somalia was granted temporary protection status in 1991 as a result of an ongoing civil war in the African nation. Former President Biden, most recently extended the protection in September of 2024. Now, the decision to end TPS for Somalia also comes a day after Minneapolis, the Twin Cities there, Minneapolis and St. Paul, sued the Trump administration after a historic federal immigration enforcement operation was launched by ICE and DHS. Last week, during ICE operations in South Minneapolis, a woman was fatally shot by an immigration officer as she drove her vehicle toward agents, prompting agitators to riot across the city and in cities across the U.S. Secretary Noem labeled the woman who was killed, Renee Nicole Good, a, quote, domestic terrorist, saying, quote, she weaponized her vehicle after blocking ICE agents on the road. Now, footage from the encounter shows an agent approaching Good's vehicle and ordering her to step out. And according to Noem, Good then attempted to run over the officer.
It already went in and out of my head, TVT. I'd have to look it up again.
The agent fired multiple shots into the car, killing the 37-year-old mother. Now, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is saying quite the contrary to that, and also telling ICE agents to get out.
Yeah, I already found someone, Charles.
Of Minneapolis during a news conference that he held after Good's death. Governor Tim Walz there of Minnesota criticized DHS, posting to X that he saw the video and referred to Noem's explanation of the incident as a part of a quote, propaganda
Appreciate you,
machine.
Bro. God bless.
But we just wanted to bring you this breaking news coming out of the Trump administration.
Yeah,
as
it's
they
a
did
big
confirm
deal
to Fox News Digital that they are ending the temporary protective status for Somalis in the U.S.
I don't know who that is. Wild card. I don't know who Clay or CLA is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be rating our buddy Black Dragon. He's live right now, so make sure you guys let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. We hanging out, having a good time, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out, as well as double tap the screen. This is what we do Monday through Friday, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We don't sit here for 4, 5, 6, 8 hours a day live streaming. We do this 1 hour. We consolidate everything, and we do no bullshit analysis, man. So I'm very appreciative of all of you legends, man. Again, make sure you guys stick around for the raid, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Until then, God bless everyone.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.